So next up we have Amber, which, you know what's really funny about Amber? They named her outfit 5-star Outrider. They treat her as if she doesn't exist, but then they have the audacity to put 5-star in her outfit description. I love Amber. I gave her a second chance after the Misty Dungeon. Really liked how she performed. I was critting for like 50k for her, and that was really satisfying as a 4-star character. We're gonna be checking out Amber. So her birthday's next month, August 10th, affiliated with the Knights of Favonius, with the Pyrovision and the constellation Lepus. Always energetic and full of life, Amber's the best, albeit only Outrider of the Knights of Favonius. Character details. Amber is an Outrider of the Knights of Favonius. In an age where Outriders are becoming obsolete, she continues on with her responsibilities. It takes a newcomer only a few days to feel right at home with this passionate girl. Whether it's before the Good Hunter's signboard, the banks of Cider Lake, or the treetops at Windrise, one can feel traces of this vigilant Outrider in red anywhere. Once spotted by her, no suspicious individuals can ever escape her interrogation. She openly welcomed us, which was great. She's a great character overall, I think. Character story 1. From a young age, Amber has always had boundless energy and a positive outlook on life. Each day, she burns with a fiery enthusiasm that sees her go about her life like a whirlwind, smashing through any obstacle that stands in her way. At times, however, her excessive energy can make her quite the troublemaker. Needless to say, she was quite a handful when she was young. Her infamous deeds included accidentally dropping a bird's nest on her grandfather's head while trying to steal the eggs from it and setting a Dendroslime's leaves on fire, causing it to scurry around like a wild animal. These minor offenses granted her some notoriety amongst hunter camps. However, Amber was always able to escape the scene of the crime whenever she caused an incident, and not even a veteran Outrider could catch up with her. Invariably, it was Amber's grandpa who ended up on damage control duty each time his granddaughter misbehaved, causing yet another incident. To Amber, her grandpa's silent, unconditional love was like a warm breeze that wrapped around her like a blanket. She knew that it was because of this love that he accepted her and took responsibility for her deeds, and he embraced it silently. But it was only on the day that the grandfather resigned from the Knights of Favonius that she fully understood the full extent of the responsibility he had bore all those years. I know that she also has like a chapter in the manga that goes into like her backstory as an Outrider and what it means to be an Outrider, but I think her grandfather's one that founded the Outriders, and I guess him leaving was the sign of its decline, and Amber's just like, you know, I'm still following in my grandpa's footsteps. So character story 2. Amber's grandpa was once the leader of a mercenary group. He came to Liyue Harbor and was tasked with protecting merchant caravans as they traversed Teyvat. One day on a routine job, the caravan fell prey to a savage monster attack. He was the only survivor, saved by a doctor from the Knights of Favonius. Too ashamed to return home and anxious to repay the debt, Amber's grandpa joined the Knights of Favonius. Oh, that's interesting. Is that when the Outriders became a thing? Before long, he single-handedly founded the Outriders, trained each one of them personally, and began leading them on missions. It also wasn't long before he found love in the foreign land of Mondstadt and founded a family. Years later, Amber was born into that family. During the day, she would crouch by the window and secretly watch him train the Outriders. At night, she would sneak into the yard and practice the moves he had taught that day. Amber's grandpa was touched by her enthusiasm and decided to teach her everything he knew. When Mondstadt accepted me, it became my homeland. Then I decided to watch over a new house of mine. Maybe one day you will inherit this responsibility. Ha, but then who knows what the future holds. As the coarse skin of her grandpa's palm rubbed against her head, a bewildered but earnest Amber nodded energetically in response. That's so sweet. Where is he from then? So he was the leader of a mercenary group. He came from Liyue Harbor and was tasked with protecting merchant caravans. Does she have Liyue descent then? That's actually pretty cool. That's unexpected as well, because we don't know who Amber's parents are or anything, but obviously the grandfather is a generation behind, so that's actually pretty cool. Interesting indeed, I shall say. Character story 3. Something happened one day 4 years ago that profoundly changed Amber. That day, her grandfather left his coat of arms and sword in his office and suddenly disappeared, leaving no note and telling no one he was leaving. He had been the beating heart and the backbone of the Outrider division, and without his leadership, they rapidly became undisciplined and lost their edge. A few failed operations later, the Outrider division was facing obsolescence. In the end, it was preserved by a part of the Knights organization, but in name only. Experienced members either transferred to another detachment or resigned, and so few Outriders stayed that they simply did not have enough people to fulfill the daily patrol duties. On top of that, rumor that Amber's grandpa had defected made recovery even more difficult for the struggling Outrider division. Amber personally experienced this whole episode, having just been admitted to the Outriders before it all began. With the decline of her squad, she experienced true loss and disappointment for the first time in her life. No longer her carefree former self, she was filled with a new determination. She was going to grow up and become a true outrider as quickly as possible, no matter what it took. She had never made an actual plan before and lacked the maturity to know where to start. But what she did have was confidence and courage, and lots of it. She wanted to show she had inherited her grandfather's determination, and she wanted to find out where he had gone. But more importantly, she wanted to inherit her grandfather's former role and become a loyal protector of her homeland. I wonder where he went to, because it doesn't sound like he died. It just sounded like he literally up and left. Similar to Timmy's dad, I hope we get to see Amber's grandfather at some point in the future of this game. That's super weird too, that he just wakes up one day and he's just like, all right, I'm gonna leave. Depending on how long ago that happened, I hope he's still out there. I hope we get to meet him, and I hope we get to find out like why he just up and left. Character story 4. Life in the Knights of Favonius was not easy for Amber in the beginning. Being as young as she was and having just lived through the trauma of losing her grandpa, the senior knights made a point of taking special care of her. However, for a girl desperate to excel as she was, being taken care of by others implied that she was not yet mature enough to stand on her own 2 feet. Accordingly, she ferociously sought after extra responsibilities and made this as visible as possible to her seniors. Finally, during an intense engagement with some monsters, the seniors noticed her bravery and resourcefulness in the heat of battle. That was the moment when they realized that the little girl was growing up. As she matured, she also became more at ease with herself. Whatever feedback she met with, be it praise, rebuke, silence, or taunt, her response was always the same. For sure, I may still have a ways to go before I catch up with my seniors, but one day I'm going to be the best outrider ever. Amber was not prone to too much deliberation, preferring instead to speak her mind, truthfully and frankly in every occasion. She firmly believed that she will not disappoint her grandfather. Yo, Amber's out here leveling up, dude. Why the hell is MiHoYo disrespecting this girl? She shows like more courage, more initiative than some of these other characters. The first character you get in the game outside of the Traveler, and like they're just so dismissive of her. It's kind of shocking. Character story 5. Today, Amber is still the firecracker she always was, burning with endless passion and energy. Now that she's all grown up, Amber holds firm in her grandfather's teachings as she spreads her wing glider's wings and watches over the city of freedom with the eyes of an eagle and the cautious cunning of a bunny rabbit. The Crimson Knight is known throughout Mondstadt. The people are delighted to see the mischievous little girl they remember growing up to be a guardian they can rely on. Never fear, Outrider Amber is here. Her self-confidence is simply unshakable. I am Outrider Amber, the one and only Outrider that makes me the best one out there. God, she's so great, man. MiHoYo, put some respect on this girl's name. I'm getting annoyed just reading this. I'm like, she's a great character. They're content with just keeping her as is, and it's unfortunate because I think people have been very vocal about Amber the same way they've been vocal about something like Resin, for example. Amber's journal. Amber doesn't make writing a daily diary a habit, only electing to write special or memorable events down in her journal. I finally caught that magical bird. I named it Rammy. Rammy something. I don't remember, but I've been chasing it for 3 days and I've only been able to sit down for a proper meal today. That magical bird was a really cunning one, burrowing into the thick forest like that. Good thing I didn't give up. Best of all, Master Jean gave me special permission to pluck a feather plume from it as reward. I'll wear it on my side every single day. Oh, is that like what's hanging from her vision? I'm sure I followed the cookbook to the letter and grilled the meat for 6 minutes, but while the outside was charred, the inside isn't cooked yet. Did I not control the heat properly? But I'm really hungry, so I just need to try again tomorrow. One day, and I'll make the best steak and call it the Outriders Champion Steak, which is actually her signature dish, so I guess eventually she gets there. I met a strange outsider today. I was suspicious at first, but as it turns out, this outsider is both reliable and capable. Come to think of it, what would I do if an enemy that strong showed up? I mustn't fall down. I must train harder. Outlander, that must have been us after the first chapter, so that's pretty cool. Amber once believed that if she took on her grandpa's post, she would understand why he left Mondstadt. However, even when she officially became an outrider, she was still no closer to unveiling the mysteries behind this wordless departure. Her grandfather had left nothing for her to find either, indicating that she would have to forge her own path. Amber floundered for a while until she slipped on an old book of fables that would eventually come to treasure. What you lack, it was not the wind, but courage. It is courage that allows you to become the first flying birds of this world. Wow, that's the fairy tale book that she gave us by mistake. Amber realized that she shouldn't wait for directions from someone else, but that she should be like those courageous birds that spread their wings and flew into the blue skies. There must be something that only I can do. There must be. That moment she realized this, a vision begin to shine brightly at her hip. That's super freaking cool, man. Amber is such a great character. Also, shout out to Kelly Baskin for voicing the character as well. Let's get into some of the voiceovers.
Outrider Amber reporting for duty. Just say the word if you ever need my help.
Amber, I need your help. They're doing you dirty out here in Genshin Impact.
I feel like running. Jean will be upset if she catches us lazing around like this.
Well, then you gotta be inconspicuous.
Hey, there's something strange over there. Come on, let's take a look. Oh no, it's raining. Now my uniform will get all wet. It's raining again. This will hinder our vision. We must remain vigilant.
I love how she's aware of the fact like, oh, I have fire. Water beats fire.
Wow, this weather is awesome.
After the rain, yeah.
If only the wind was a little stronger. This breeze, so refreshing. I love this kind of weather. So relaxing. Morning. Wanna go on a jog? Can I get lunch with you?
Oh, dude, sticky honey roast all day.
It's getting late. Should I light a torch?
Light a torch.
Agreed. Getting rest is essential. Let's meet here tomorrow then. See ya. Mondstadt Gliding Champion. Yep, that's me. Gliding Champion.
I'm surprised that MiHoYo never followed up with the Gliding Champion of Mondstadt tournament. Amber mentioned it at the end of her hangout. I thought it was going to be like during Windbloom or Ludi Harpastum where the gliding tournament was going to happen, because that's where Amber's like, oh, I already signed you down for the tournament when it comes around. Maybe that will be Amber's second character hangout when the tournament actually shows up.
Remember that I don't go easy on anyone. Even you.
Oh, shit.
When I'm teaching you to glide, I feel like I can go even faster than usual.
Oh, God.
Huh? What are you laughing at? I'll prove it. We can race right now.
Wouldn't gliding be faster? That's the first thing I thought of.
My vision is a sign that the Archons believe in me. Yes, I must become the best outrider I can possibly be.
Shout out to the gods.
The view from the cathedral's clock tower is amazing. You should check it out.
Yeah, I agree.
Look, there's a pigeon over there. I wish I could fly alongside them.
Be careful, Timmy's around. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Or I should say, don't do anything I would do. I'm trying to get foul out here. Your boy's trying to eat.
After the Grand Master left on his expedition, all the affairs of the Knights of Favonius, both big and small, have been left up to Jean. If only there was more I could do to help her.
Aw.
Jean might still be working. We should invite her for coffee. Let's go.
Imagine Jean stopped working. Funny.
When you have time, we should go see Lisa. Last time I saw her, she was telling me about a story involving a treasure in the Dragonspine area, but we got cut off before she could finish. I can't wait to hear the rest of her story.
Yeah, Lisa, how do you know about Dragonspine? How do you know about secret treasure in Dragonspine? Who are you?
If Lisa's not sleeping, she'll be reading. I don't know how she does it. I wouldn't be able to sit still for that long.
Concern.
I'm feeling uneasy all of a sudden. Was that Kaya with you earlier? Did he give you any trouble?
Pretty sus, Kaya.
There's something weird looking about the dandelions in the garden. I bet Kaya had something to do with this.
Dude, I'm super sus. Kaya, what are you doing with those dandelions?
Bennett. I feel like I've heard that name before. Oh, yes. He's that hot-blooded guy from the Adventurers Guild, right. I tend to come across him way out in the wilds from time to time. He seems to really love treasure hunting.
Oh, yeah. Bennett's awesome. I love him.
Klee? She can be a bit cheeky sometimes, but everyone in the Knights of Favonius likes her. Although, I really ought to keep a closer eye on her if I want to keep her from getting put in confinement by Jean again.
Good luck with that. Oh, Albedo!
Albedo spends most of his time...
They called his name wrong. That's literally how Jean pronounced it in that one voiceover for Jean. She says Albedo, and I was like, what? Why are you calling him that? Why are you saying his name like that?
Albedo spends most of his time in his workshop, tinkering away with all of his awesome stuff. But when you see him in person, you can never quite tell what he's thinking. Not a clue at all.
Mysterious and profound.
You want to know about Noelle? She's incredibly resilient. Still, as our predecessor, we should do what we can to help her out.
She's gonna be right there with you someday in the nights.
Eula is a great friend of mine.
A great friend? Nothing more?
You just need to get used to her sense of humor, and you'll get along fine.
Yeah.
The only reason she's misunderstood by so many people is her family name. How can I get them to see her for who she really is?
Vengeance will be hers, dude. That's her whole shtick.
I'm a pro at hunting, you know. How about I show you some of my skills? Or even better, how about a little competition?
Yo, Amber's a pro gamer. Let's go.
I'll share my ultimate gliding champion secret with you. The most important thing to remember is to have courage.
True, true, true. That was in her quest too.
I'm really not that good with riddles. I always try to avoid the riddle stand during Ludi Harpastum. What about you?
Teasing Ludi Harpastum, are we? Guys and gals, there's gonna be some brain teasers during Ludi Harpastum confirmed. Get your tinfoil caps on.
I joined the Knights because of my grandpa. I stayed because of Jean. And now, you're the one that showed me the world beyond Mondstadt. I couldn't be happier.
That's so sweet. She stayed because of Jean.
I would like to explore the other worlds beyond. I want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. You'll keep me company, right?
You wanna see how deep the Baron Bunny hole goes?
Baron Bunny, today is another squeaky clean day. Oh, do you have any idea how to make a decent moon pie?
I think that's Eula's signature dish. Bro, you're capping if you're gonna sit there and tell me that there's nothing going on between Eula and Amber.
Jean makes the most amazing cup of coffee. You'll have to try it sometime. I can handle anything and everything, as long as it isn't cold wolf hook juice. Ugh, yuck.
R.I.P. to your boy Razor. It's all good though.
Yeah, as fast as riding the wind. At this speed, no one can keep up with me. The skies over Mondstadt seem to have gotten smaller. Or is it that my sight reaches further than ever before? It seems that now, I've improved so much compared to when we first met. Thank you so much. Let me treat you to a sticky honey roast. Let's go, let's go.
Let's go, dude. We're getting free food for being the homie. Amber's great, dude. I love Amber. She's awesome. I'm so glad I got to end up using her to the full extent. Friendship 10. Overall, Amber's great. Absolutely love her. Wish we could see more of her, but obviously we're moving to like other regions of the game. So hopefully Ludi Harpastum is when we'll get to see her again.